What is clever way to save money that most people don't realize? Every time you fancy buying something special, impulse buying, by principle, postpone it for a week. If you forget, you really didn't need it. I do this, slightly modified. I buy the item by transferring the money it would have cost into my savings account and treat the money as if it is gone. If at the end of the month, I really want the item, I buy it for real. So if I really want something, I buy it at twice the price. More often than not, I don't even bother because I've forgotten about it or really didn't want it in the first place. Also, I set a spending floor. I do not spend below that amount, no matter what, and this is incorporated into my spending. So if I run out of money because I went nuts, that's my own fault and I have to live off what I have until the next paycheck. Definitely not something everyone can or wants to do, but it works for me. Sure. Let's say you make $5,000 a month. After all your bills, expenses, savings, investments, etc., you have $3,000 left. A floor is a number you decide your bank account will never drop below. Let's say $2,000 is the floor you set. So you have $1,000 to spend as you see fit. You can spend it as I explained earlier, or spend for real. Either way, your account balance will drop closer to your floor until you either get your next paycheck or you hit your $2,000 floor. At that point, you stop spending. Period. It can suck if you aren't keeping an eye on your balance. I got caught off guard with my balance and had $20 for 2 weeks. That was not fun. I paid better attention after that. I do that with Amazon. I just add it to my cart and wait. 99% of the time when I go back to look at my cart later, I'm like, WTF was I thinking? I don't really need this. I do this with all online shops. Put stuff in my cart, wait till later, take a critical look, decide I don't need this junk, delete it. If stuff lasts for weeks or I keep putting it back in the cart, then I seriously consider buying it. Otherwise I'll leave it for someone else. I've been practicing this for my 55-foot yacht. I'm on day 7,000. Inflation has changed the target a little bit. It's gotten much more expensive in the 20 years I've delayed. Just 95 years to go and I'll have it as long as the price doesn't change anymore. Keep almost all your money in an account that's not connected to your card, but you can easily transfer from. Keep only enough to cover small expenses, like a coffee, or small grocery store trip in the account that's connected to your card. Every time you buy something that costs more than 20 euros or so, you'll need to take an extra step in transferring the money for it, and also have to look at your account balance to better gauge whether it's really worth it. This stops nearly all impulse buying for me, other than small items. To further this, get paid into a savings account and earn interest on what you don't spend from day one. Edit for clarification, because a lot of people seem to think that I'm suggesting you squirrel away tons of money in a standard savings account forever and ever. Shop around and find a savings account that gives you a bonus rate for regular deposits, get your wages paid into it. Even if the rates are low, as they are at the moment, you are earning something for it to be there. This account should be reasonably easy to access, i.e. directly connected to a debit card, or no fee transfer to a debit account. From the savings account, regularly review what you need the money for and what might be a better use for it. Depending on your circumstances, this might be weekly, monthly, quarterly, etc. Invest the surplus in higher earning forms. Depending on your risk adversity, it might be term deposits, shares, property, etc. These forms of investments are typically harder to access if you need the money on short notice. Even if you maintain a balance of $1,000 at 1% P.A, that earns you $10 a year, which is more than you would be getting from your piggy bank, as has been suggested elsewhere on this thread. Anything excess to what you would reasonably need to access in a week, should be invested into a higher earning investment. I am in Australia, 1% interest is available to most adults. There are bank accounts with further bonuses for young adults and/or students, for children, or for retirees. Shop around, look up comparison websites, find something that suits your circumstances. Disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, and I don't know your personal circumstances. This may not work for you, but it is a way to get your money to start working for you from the moment it arrives in your bank account. When we bought our little house last year, it needed a lot of work. Some stuff I had to have someone else do, but a few things I saved on by doing myself. Framed and built a closet in the kids' room. Minor electric work to run a wire for rail lights. Minor plumbing. Replacing siding. YouTube is a great teacher. Buy in big packages or in bulk / on sale, but also put stuff in smaller containers to use. Like dish soap, shampoo, laundry detergent etc. You can lower the price of most things 50% basically just by tricking yourself into using less and extending the amount of time each bulk package covers. Also, when you do this with food like putting cereal or pasta into a bigger food storage container instead of the small cardboard boxes, you won't feel the need to overeat by using up the last of a small package as often if it's in one huge container and you just get out enough for one meal. I would add that if you don't have the money and have to use a credit card where you can't pay the balance, you are not saving by bulk buying, your money goes to interest. That's so true. I'm personally not against credit completely though BC of card rewards, the future price might be higher and offset the interest. Things like shrinking package sizes, cards with zero interest for a certain time etc. It's a really individualized equation. Just like Costco and Sam's memberships are hard to justify, and sometimes food in smaller packages is actually a few cents cheaper an ounce. I get more discounts by using all the savings at Dollar General, $5 off $25 on Saturdays plus the app has decent digital coupons, than I would by paying for a Sam's membership. But I live in a food desert without an Aldi or any grocery stores nearby that take coupons like Kroger and H-E-B. Condiments are also a lot cheaper at grocery stores versus Costco too. Getting the store brand ketchup, mustard for $1 to $2 versus $9 for similar at Costco. Costco is good for certain things, the savings in TP, paper towels typically justifies most of the membership, with a family of 5. I've found, at least at BJ's, OTCs, Advil, Tylenol, vitamins, for the same price at the grocery store, you get twice the amount. So a bottle of 120 tablets costs say $10.99 at the regular store. There it's $240 for $10.99, or sometimes $11.99. I can justify my membership by just buying them. But yeah, not everything is cheaper in bulk. Rice is though. 25 pounds for the same price as a 5 pounds bag. I agree, I haven't been to Costco in a while but they had this pack that was ketchup, barbecue sauce and mustard and they were just regular sized bottles bundled together. I could get generic brands at other stores for cheaper than that. I have found them very good for taco seasoning. My husband loves Mexican food and we have it every week. Their seasoning lasts us forever and is so much more economical than buying the little packets every time. They're good for female sanitary products as well. Being able to buy in bulk saves us a fair bit. Yes and no. Interest starts after a month, on most of the cards that I'm aware of, so if you buy a month's worth of rice at the beginning of the month, it's cheaper than a week's worth each week, because of that payment grace period, and big bags are also just cheaper per pound. All these little savings add up, to hopefully being able to buy the huge bag and saving a lot more. You do want to be able to pay it off before interest hits, but if you can play the game, you can work it in your favor. Not to mention point cards, if you use that same game to get a good credit score. I'm able to earn 2% on every purchase, and never pay interest. I lived paycheck to paycheck for quite a while, and got good at this game. Now I'm doing better, but it was a fun math game for me at the grocery store. Thanks Smile. There's also 2 really good YouTube channels I like for ideas for living on extreme low budgets. Under the Median is an older vegan hippie couple, and Prepper Princess is an LGBTQ older lady who has saved enough to be a millionaire just by living mostly off-grid using solar in Arizona, gardening and cooking with a solar oven. They're both really optimistic channels for living a great life but spending almost nothing. Never heard of those ones. There's this one woman that has 8 kids and feeds them absolute slop, expired food, while her and her husband dine on steaks. Their house costs like over $3 million and tries to act like it's all hard work and budget, but she's been an extremely shit parent. One of the kids nearly drowned and she didn't take them to get checked out medically at all, and there are many examples of that. She obviously gets a lot of income from YouTube now, too. I like the idea of those types of channels that you mentioned, but once they actually start to get money, their budgeting tips can sometimes seem really tone deaf. I definitely want to check out the older couple. I've been watching this older couple that have gone to thrift stores together for more than 30 years, and they are just adorable. Oh, which channels? That sounds like a train wreck. I'd love to know the sweet one too. And yes, it's so annoying when channels about saving money obviously have built up massive income and pretend to still be poor lol instead of admitting they achieved their goals with hard work. I totally agree. Once that kind get popular, it's flat advice. The ones I mentioned are both real though. Not mommy blogger types. And they both recommend things that are even too frugal for me. Like extreme. But they're happy people, so I guess live and let live lol. I think only Prepper Princess probably makes much from it, and her GF has health issues that are probably expensive. And they take huge trips to celebrate reaching their financial goals like getting debt-free etc. The under the median channel are just older retired broadcasters who worked in radio and I guess wanted to share their knowledge. This is a good idea for some and I wish it worked for me, but I am a single person living in a small apartment and have no storage for bulk buying. A 48 roll of toilet paper fills my bathroom vanity. My GF bought me bulk pasta because I eat a lot of it and it took up half an entire shelf in a cupboard or about 1/6 of my entire kitchen food storage.